What's up, everybody? It's Big Herc back for another edition of Prison Talk Motivational Series. And we get a lot of questions about people asking, what'd you do with your time? What kind of educational programs do you have in there? What kind of schooling do they have in prison? Well, I spent a lot of my time self-educating myself on the law and writing because, writing's always been a passion of mine. English has always been a favorite subject of mine. So I decided with a lot of this free time I had that I pursue my passions. And instead of playing chess or, playing basketball or sports on the yard or what have you, or gambling, I went to the law library and did a lot of writing and a lot of researching as far as, one, for my case, and two, for just entertainment purposes, because I want to get out and publish a few books. So, I talk a lot about busting cheeks, and people say, oh, were you busting cheeks in prison? No, nigga, I wasn't busting cheeks in prison. I was busting cheeks on the streets before I got locked up, and when I got out, I was busting cheeks of women, not men, to make it clear. So, if you don't know, Google Big Herc. I did a lot of adult movies before I got locked up, which actually had a little bit of a pull when I got to prison, because guys in prison see me in the fuck books and were like, oh man, you were that nigga out there fucking bitches and robbing banks. So, it kind of played into a beneficial factor because I got to interact with a lot of guys from different states, different neighborhoods, different gangs, because they looked at me as more of somebody they could talk to and not feel like they had to beef with because of just what I did on the street. And I'm not bragging about it. It is what it is. Prison's a very barbaric place. So, any type of edge you can have on communicating with people, it opens up a lot of doors, and it kind of breaks the cycle of violence. So I used to have a lot of people ask me, how'd you get into the porn game? Well, I wrote a book, How to Get Down in the Porn Game. And, I decided to answer a lot of the questions in my book. I talk about how I got into the game, how long I was in the game. I've done over 100 movies, and ain't nothing to be ashamed of. It is what it is. I mean, people sit around and talk about guns and violence and killing all day. Well, I talk about fucking. And if you don't like it, fuck you. You know what I mean? It is what it is. I'm keeping it real. So I wrote this book, and it's on Amazon. Very entertaining. And it just keeps it real. I talk about how I got into the game. I was young. I was 21. And I wanted to get paid for having sex. And that's what I did. So I did that for quite a few years before I caught my bank robbery. And, I was, right up until the time I caught my case doing adult movies. So this book is fairly short. It's only 80 pages. But it's entertaining. It's funny. If you read it, you get some laughs out of it. And, it kind of give you an idea of what the game was like back before the internet. I got into the game in 1994, and the internet really came into play in around 2000. So, it gives you some pretty good insight on the porn game. I also wrote another book while I was in prison called Bedroom Gangster. Now, Bedroom Gangster is a tale of an ex-con by the name of Tone who gets out of prison and heads to Hollywood to pursue his dreams. His goal is to start his own porn company and use his body to get ahead, servicing willing women. He weaves a trail of lustful exploits, engaging in debaucherous encounters that make for an orgasmic page-turner. This is a novel that will leave you wanting to know more about Tone and his adventures. This is the book, I kind of tied in a lot of the things I experienced prior to going to prison with some fantasy, and also some of the stuff that I experienced when I got out of prison. But unknowingly, because like I said, I wrote this in prison, so as energy is put out there, some of the things actually occurred in my real life. But anyways, this book is it's an erotic page-turner. It's an urban erotica. So it's something for people to read with their girlfriend, with their wife, with their partner, and get the bedroom a little hot, before you guys go to bed, or get it hot during the day. Either way, very detailistic. It's also available on AmazonBooks.com, and I think also available on FreshOutSeries.com. Check it out. Very good book. And like I said, I wrote a couple other books I'm working on right now, publishing and editing, and a couple legal reference books. But these I wrote for entertainment purposes, and it kept me out of trouble. It gave me something to do. It gave me something to fantasize about. I mean, a lot of people sit in prison, and it's like, oh, they feel sorry for themselves, or they try to find constructive ways to pass their time. Some people gangbang on the yard, or they gamble, or watch sports, or watch music videos. I wrote, and I fantasized about women because I love women, and that was one of the biggest things I missed on the street were sharing conversations and intimate times with women and my family. So, I decided to write this book to kind of like channel my energy into something positive and to, know that one day I was going to get out and be able to be intimate with a woman again. And right now I'm intimate. I got a wife, so, she sometimes, looks at me crazy because I write stuff like this. But hey, it's part of my personality. It's who I am as Big Herc, and I write it for the fans out there. It's entertaining. So get a chance, check out Amazon. Both books are on Amazon. And, to guys that are out there who maybe are in prison who get a chance to see this, write about your life. Write about your story. It has value. Be creative. You have a creative side to you as well as a side you use to hustle with. And take advantage of that and monetize it. You can get out, write books. There's a lot of urban books are very big, and you can capitalize on that. You can self-publish, and you can put out an ebook. So, stay positive and stay reading, educate yourself. And this is it for Prison Talk Motivational Series.